Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, ladies. How y'all doing tonight? Hope everyone is doing great. Um, uh, we got something to talk about. I hope that you followed my recommendation and got yourself a cup of tea. I know I do. A nice cup of tea because I need to keep my voice. Um, Gotta keep my voice good because I got a whole bunch of homeschool lessons to do tomorrow. But tonight, I had to go live because this is something I have been wanting to go live on for a few days now. I have not had the opportunity. Um, but yeah, it's definitely time. Um, so I don't know if y'all have been following the whole Fani Willis situation in Atlanta, which is, like this whole big crazy political thing, with this is the Atlanta DA, and she's supposedly, trying to oversee, uh, she's overseeing the case to get him disqualified, accusing him of, trying to overthrow all that stuff. I don't want to talk about it because that's not what I'm here to talk about today. Because I'm so over the politics, it's not even funny because they're all a hot mess. Um, but what is really interesting is how emotional people have become about this whole situation. And I am going to offer you a different perspective. I want you to take the politics out of this situation. And hey, Danny, hey, Kat, I want you to take the politics out of this situation. Just put that to the side. I want you to look at this with a cold eye. I want you to think about this from the perspective of um, uh, being a relationship builder, being a woman who establishes a powerful reputation for herself professionally and personally. All the other stuff, don't worry about that right now because you don't need to worry about it. We're not focusing on that. We're focusing on um, getting getting some self-awareness using what happened with this woman as a case study in self-awareness. So um, what we're about to look at, I'm going to share some clips. Um, we're about to look at some clips from the uh, testimony that Willis um, um, gave last week, because apparently the person that she hired to be on the case against, the former president, she began to have a relationship with. And so, what they're trying to establish and what we're about to see in this testimony is, did she have a relationship with this gentleman before? Um, Before she hired him, or did she just so happen to begin a relationship with him after the fact, after she hired him on the case? Because of course, if she did um hire him, and if she did start messing around with him, and he was married, he was married, he's now divorced, but if she was messing with him before she appointed him, then as an officer of the court, I mean, it's totally unethical and she will be disqualified. And so this testimony is to determine whether she's eligible to be DA over this case. And this pretty much is a motion to disqualify her. So let's get started. Let's watch. If you have been following along, I would love to know if you've been following along, or if you even heard what's going on. I just put a yes or no in the comments. I would like to know if y'all have been even following any of this. But let's go ahead and start watching. I'm not going to keep y'all all night. Let's go ahead and start. Um, okay, Danny's not been following. Okay. Okay. Can y'all see that? It looks like y'all can see it. Okay, let me get started.
Let's be clear. 2022
Okay.
was the start of any intimate sexual relationship.
Okay, sorry. This is the attorney, Nathan Wade, that she was having a tryst with. That she was having what is being proposed. She was having an improper relationship with him before she hired him, and so he's wrapping up his testimony, saying that, hey, no, nothing happened until 2022, which was after I was hired. So it was in poor taste that they got together, but what they're saying is, okay, it was in poor taste, but actually, they weren't even saying that. They're just saying that they got together after the fact, not before.
Okay, and that's what I was wanting to
Okay,
make clear. In your affidavit, you used the term personal
Hold on, let me-
relationship.
got it.
Today, you've used the term dating. And your testimony today is that that includes the
Hold on, y'all.
basically physical or sexual or intimate relationship. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And there was nothing, according to your testimony, there was none of that prior to early 2020.
That is correct.
That's all I've got to.
Okay, so
All right, not seeing anyone else. Miss Cross,
he's done. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Let me go back a little.
All right, you may step down, Mr. Wade, and please don't discuss your testimony with any other witnesses.
She mentioned subpoena, Judge. Let me just say this. There was an inference made that I was somehow evading service.
Hold on, sorry,
of a
yeah.
subpoena.
We can take that up. I don't think we need to have that on the record in this hearing. Understood, Bill.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Merchant, any other witnesses?
Yes, we would call Fani Willis to stand.
Okay.
Ms. Cross.
Your Honor, I am gonna adjust.
So they're trying to call her to the stand. They're trying to call Fani Willis. The prosecution is trying to call Fani Willis to the stand. Fani's team is trying to quash the motion to compel her to testify. They are trying to keep her off the stand. So the first mistake that we see here, oh, the sound is low. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, I'll turn it up. The captions, the sound is low in the hearing itself, so that's why I have the captions on. But I'm going to turn it up as loud as I can. But sometimes you might have to kind of get closer or just like look at the captions. And please look at this. I know that y'all usually like to like listen in the background, but the reason you want to watch this one, ladies, is because you need to watch body language, you need to watch attitude, you need to watch personal presentation. This is super important. So please just take a little bit of time and watch this one. I'm not going to keep y'all all night, but watch it. Okay. Danny says yeah, you heard about it, but you didn't know the details because you're not trying to give it any attention. I was trying not to give it any attention either, but it was everywhere. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what's going on? Okay, let me look real quick. And then when I saw a few of the clips, I said, no way, that this is not real. So I went and looked at the testimony for myself, right? Because people can clip things and not. So I go straight to the source. Whoever live streamed it, Fox 5 live streamed it in Atlanta, Fox 5 Atlanta, C-SPAN stream. Like I'm going there. So I am showing y'all the I'm showing y'all a testimony like unedited. That's why I'm trying to skip to certain timestamps because I have notes based on timestamps. Okay. And I promise it'll be worth it. Okay. So once again, to recap, right now they are trying to call her to the stand. They're trying to call DA Fani Willis to the Fani Willis. I'm trying to call her Fani Willis to the stand to make her give a testimony about whether she had an improper relationship with this man. Her team is trying to they have filed a motion. I only went to law school for 1 year, y'all. So, to my attorneys that are listening, y'all got to give me some grace because I might not be saying it right. They are trying to squash the motion to compel her to testify. pretty much exercising her Fifth Amendment right, um, to, not say anything. So it looks like, and y'all gonna watch this about 60-ish seconds of the back and forth between the two, prosecution and the defense, and they're talking to the judge. And I think that if this would have played out, the judge might have actually um, honored the motion to quash the making Fani go to sit on the stand. And this is the first mistake, is when you have a team in place that is there to protect you, you got to let your team do its job. And I have been encouraging you ladies to create rela- relationships and strong bonds with people, because you need your own team. And there are going to be seasons in your life that you really need your team to show up for you, and you need to just kind of fall back. And that is what I think that this woman should have done, and she did not do. Hey, Miss Clark. And she did not do it. We're going to watch. Not only did she not do it, she came in with an attitude. She did not discuss it with her team. And I'm going to just let y'all watch. Like I said, y'all, I know y'all used to like kind of listening in the background, but you got to watch this one. Okay.
We move to the motion to quash the district attorney.
So the woman in the white jacket, hold on.
So
That's right.
testimony
So the woman that's sitting in the white jacket is prosecution. They're the ones that are asking her, that they want her to come and give a testimony. The woman that's standing up right now is on Fani's team. She's saying, Your Honor, I don't think it's necessary. She is really, pleading her case for her client. And, doing a decent job as far as I can tell. I did work in law firms for quite a few years. But I mean, she's I think he probably would have sided with her. But no, no, no. We just can't sit down sometimes, can we? All right, y'all ready? Watch.
from Mr. Wade. I don't believe that there can be a showing for the need for the district attorney to testify as well. For all of the reasons that were cited in the state's motion to quash initially, it's a tremendously high burden to call opposing counsel. I don't believe it's been met, particularly given the cumulative nature that would be the subject of personal details.
So she's arguing like, hey, they haven't even met the requirements to justify getting her to the stand. So, okay.
All right, Ms. Merchant, what do you think you can establish and have through the testimony of Ms. Willis? And let me stop there.
Conflict in the evidence, Judge. Now that how Mr. Wade has testified, there's a conflict in multiple different issues. I'll go through all the different issues. The first one is the reimbursement.
So let me tell y'all, since it's kind of low, Fani's team is saying, hey, Mr. Wade just testified. That should be sufficient. We don't think that our client should have to come and testify as well. The woman in the white jacket who is trying to compel her, who's on the team that's trying to compel her, is saying, hey, yeah, Mr. Wade just gave his testimony and it conflicts with a bunch of things that we have on record from what she did say. So that's what we want her to come up. All right.
Issue, cash, that opened the door in and of itself. Ms. Willis testifying.
Well, what's the conflict there?
That he testified that he didn't have receipts, but we don't know if Ms. Willis has receipts. So that's one issue.
So we don't know. So there's no conflict. We just don't know.
We don't
right?
know. Right?
Okay. So it's a question, not a conflict. But what else?
That is a question. So, and there's a lot of different issues with different reasons. The first one would be the receipts. Whether or not these cash payments, if there's any payment receipts. The Belize trip, whether or not she paid for the entire thing in cash.
Okay, so the other thing is, not only did she have an improper relationship with this man, but they started traveling all over like the world. They start going on all these really lavish trips. So this is the woman who decided she was going to go after the former president of the United States based on that in Georgia. She hired a guy, and then she started having a relationship with that guy. The question is whether they started having a relationship before and she hired her lover, or did they become lovers afterwards? Even if they did become lovers afterwards, the funds that she paid him an exorbitant amount of money for his services. She paid him more than the other 2 attorneys on the case were paid. And they also started going to Belize, Aruba. They started going on a lot of trips. So y'all can see this looks real sketch, right? Yeah, Elle, come on now. Elle, don't you start, girl. Don't. That's the juicy part. All right. Yes. She did not know which contents. Oh, she did not know which continents they were on. I was floored. Let me stop. Let me let y'all see for yourself. Okay, so they're arguing back and forth, and I think that I'm thinking the judge is going to let her, not have to sit on, give a testimony. But then watch what
Mr. Wade
happens.
doesn't have knowledge of that, couldn't remember. A lot of things he couldn't remember, so now it goes to Ms. Willis, unfortunately.
Okay.
That he
So let
testified
me
that
take
she
this up.
insists on paying her own way, gave him some cash, that's the quote, some cash. Miami trip,
Okay, hold
she
on.
booked it, but thought it would balance out.
Hold on.
A
I'm
couple
going to
other
skip
trips
ahead.
that we didn't get any information about, Tennessee, Alabama.
Have the full picture as we've gotten through Mr. Wade of his false interrogatory.
That's the other attorney on the prosecution side.
Or anybody. And then
Now look at this.
he's changing.
Look at this. Look at her. Look at Fani. This is Fani in the pink dress. Look at her attorney. Look at her attorney's face. Right, Lena. Right. But this is what you go girl energy. This is what the you go girl narrative, drag them for filth. I'm about to show you something. This is the physical manifestation of that. Now, this poor girl, she was like, this woman, she's not gonna let me do my job. All right, let's keep watching. I'm gonna rewind it like 10 seconds so y'all can watch when she rolls up. And the shock on everybody. I want y'all to look at everybody's face in the courtroom. The shocking thing is, even if Fani says, no, I actually would like to testify, she did not talk to her team about this first. They didn't have time to prep her. They sit here arguing, trying to make her not get on the stand. So she's actually going against her team. She's overriding the wisdom of her team because she got to say something.
Have the full picture as we've gotten through Mr. Wade.
All right, y'all watch. The camera's about to move over because the cameraman is like, wait, this chick walking in here.
And then suddenly he's changed.
Look at her, hand on her hip. She just threw something on their desk.
Same problem.
She threw something on her team's table. She threw a piece of paper down there. Look at everybody's face.
And to explain exactly what happened. He was asked the court.
And look at her face.
That the court allowed Ms. Willis to be called and interrogated on these matters.
And I would too, Your Honor.
Just a moment, Ms. Willis. So, Ms. Cross, I don't know if you want to speak with Ms. Willis now. It's sounding like maybe they're withdrawing the objection to the motion,
I believe the motion to,
or does Ms. Willis want to take the lead here?
So the judge the judge is a gentleman. I'm gonna give him that. I like him. He is saying, so you gonna get your you gonna get your girl, or is she gonna take the lead? Yes, Miss Clark. That stand up says I'm in charge. Yes, you normally are in charge, but right now it's not time for you to be in charge. It's time for you to let your team protect you. But see, this is what happens when we big and bad, right? This is a case study in self-awareness, ladies. Yes, you got it, Lena. Even if she wasn't wrong, they're going to punish her for her audacity. I know all about that, and I had to learn that the hard way. I did too. Let's keep watching.
we'll withdraw the motion to quash Ms. Willis.
Based on the. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
The-
This poor girl, this child. Let me get some tea. This child, she probably, She probably had a whole bottle of wine that night after this day. Dang. I can't imagine having worked on a case and, got all the stuff ready to protect my client, and the heifer just roll up throwing something on my desk and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Come on now. All right.
The position of the district attorney at this point is that she's no longer contesting the subpoena. Ms. Merchant has called her as the next witness.
So she's no longer contesting a subpoena. She was initially, but what was happening was, I think she was listening in the next room or something. She was hearing what was being said, like what Nathan Wade was saying and what the other people were saying, because we're like an hour and 18 minutes in, and she was getting riled up. She was getting mad. Look at her. Look at her. She marching.
I would ask, I need 3 documents in front of me, and they're the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant. 3 filings.
Now, when I watched the clips, I watched clips from different places with different audiences, and it's very interesting. If the audience was like very, like a lot of like Black women and stuff, you could just see look at her, look at her taking charge, and because she's like, I need this, I need that, right? And this is what happens when we don't have any situational awareness, right? Yes, you are usually the DA. You usually can come in with this type of energy. But when you are being called into question, you don't come in with this type of energy. Not march. She was marching. She was marching, Al. Okay. Look at her. She ready to fight.
Does anyone have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant? Does the court have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant?
Okay, now you just sat in the seat. Who got the filings? Anybody got the filings? See, that's that frantic energy. She's agitated. Now, let me tell you something what I would never do. I would never in a million years think I was going to go up against any person that was super powerful politically and not be on my square. Okay? And I damn sure would let my team work for me. I would not say nothing I didn't have to say. And now not only did she come up here, come in talking about, oh, I'm ready to go. Now she making demands on the court. But you are being questioned, right? You're being called in for questioning. You're not doing the questioning this time. But when you don't have situational awareness, you think you're going to boss everybody around. And the comments on certain pages were, yes, you go, girl. I know that's right. She ain't playing. And others were, oh my God, why is she doing this? What is this? This is nuts. A couple of the legal pages I went on were like, oh my God, I can't. Those were the funniest. Okay.
When you say the filings, you mean like the pleadings?
The pleadings, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I think we could locate those for you in the supplemental.
I want the one filed on January the 8th, the one filed immediately after we filed ours, and the final one.
Her voice is shaking.
If you want to
She's
take a break to
agitated.
get them, I can make a copy. I think we have one.
You know, the only copy I have is going to have my notes on it. So if we don't have a clean copy,
Have a 5-minute break, Your Honor.
Let's
I'll get
take-
the documents.
all right.
I'll sit here and wait for him.
I don't know what else.
Okay, so she's agitated. Let me fast forward. But I mean, I knew that there was going to be an issue the way she walked in there. Just looking at the attorney's face, the way she was charging in there. They didn't get an opportunity to advise her, and people like, oh yeah, she looks like a boss. But to me, she does not look like a boss. She looks agitated. She looks agitated. Hold on.
Did we elect someone who's actually making the copy?
So they're gonna take a recess. Let me fast forward to the timestamp. Let me see the comments. Okay. Miss Clark says today is a good day to fire a client. Lena, oh, this is interesting. Lena said this was exclusively for Black Twitter. Maxine Waters, but featured on a Jasmine Sullivan song, saying she was reclaiming her time. She's looking for a moment. Yeah. Kat says she has the energy of a fed up principal of a failing school. Okay. She stomped in like Annalise Keating. I know it's superficial, but I wanted her to wear a shaper under that dress. Oh, that's funny. I think she's also wearing the dress backwards. I think the dress is on backwards. That's what a couple people were saying. Let me look. Cause see the zipper. That's the zipper, right? She's got the zipper at the neckline. Maybe it's a reversible dress. I don't know, but the less structured your body is, the more structured your clothes have to be. I was surprised that she wore the dress.
Version is called her as the next witness.
Yeah, I agree. So does that sound petty that people go, she should have worn a shaper under here? Maybe it does, but when you decide to wage warfare on people and on the people that she has, like you have to be extra tight. That's a lack of self-awareness right there. Like I can't be going out there like this. I need to be super on point, whether it's fair or not, right? Okay. So let me look at my timestamp notes. Give me a second, ladies. Okay. Yeah, she does look arrogant. Lena, so the man that she did all this for, I'll show you him real quick. I'll show you him real quick. This is the guy. This guy, Nathan Wade.
Scale back on the amount of income, right? Amount of profit.
Well, you're splitting the profits 50-50 though, instead of 1/3, correct?
The profits, yes.
Okay. So anyway, that's him. So that's just because I didn't focus on his testimony at all, really. Not yet. I'm gonna do that for my Substack girls uh later on. But let's get into the real good stuff because this is just the party just getting started.
Let everyone get situated and then we'll go back on the road.
So, you have like tissue in here?
All right, we are back on the record. Deputy Scott, if you could swear in our next witness.
I would, and I do apologize. Anna, do me a favor. Put them on my next one, glasses. After you swear, don't put them on my next one. You can swear, you can go ahead and swear, because I don't know what the Yes, sir. District Attorney Fani, Fani. Last name is Willis.
Ms. Willis, how did you know to come into the courtroom right then?
There were people, I was pacing in my office,
Okay.
and I heard someone yell, his testimony is done. It only made sense to me that I would be your next witness. And I've been very anxious to have this conversation with you today.
And I've been very anxious to have this conversation with you today. Yes, girl. You go, girl. Now, is that helpful, y'all? Do y'all think that she's starting it off right? Right, Lena. You know what? That is what I noticed too. He was a gentleman. You know, he was lying, but at least he was polite. You know, because outside of the culture, quote unquote, it's good form to be polite, no matter what, right? But we about to watch something. Y'all watch. Get your tea.
Ran to the courtroom.
So as soon as you heard that Mr. Wade was done testifying, that's when you just assumed you would be the next witness?
It only makes sense.
Did you listen to any of the testimony?
I've been in my office pacing, ma'am.
Did you listen to any of the arguments?
I did hear the arguments this morning. It's ridiculous to me that you lied on Monday and yet here we still are. And I did listen to that argument.
All right, so that was it, just the argument, no testimony.
Right, I listened to the argument this morning where Adam Abadi, I thought, did an excellent job pointing out how dishonest you were with the court on Monday. And I'm actually surprised that the hearing continued, but since it did, here I am.
It is, Kat.
So
It is uncomfortable to watch.
Let's just talk about what you did in preparation for today. Did you meet with Mr. Wade at all? Once the motion was filed, did you meet with Mr. Wade and talk to him about the motion that I filed to disqualify you?
On this first January motion?
Yes.
I don't know if you could say talked about. I probably had some choice words about some of the things that you said that were dishonest within this motion. So I don't know that it was a conversation. As you know, Mr. Wade is a Southern gentleman. Me, not so much.
Okay.
Okay. Is that nice? Is that a good idea? So the attorney's saying, hey, you know, did you have a conversation with him about me trying to disqualify you? You know, and the woman's voice is, she ain't shook. She is not shook, whether you like her or not. It's because it's not about whether you like her. This has nothing to do with your political leanings. We are doing a case study in professional reputation, self-awareness, and personal presentation. So when she asked, did you hear? She says, oh, I heard it. But you know, I wouldn't say discuss, because basically she's saying I was cussing you out and calling you everything but a child of God when I was talking to Mr. Wade about your motion. And he's a gentleman, but me not so much. Why would you say something like that? You know why? Because when you just hang out with people who give you the you go girl and let you know that you can do no wrong and tell them and drag them for all that thing that a lot of women do nowadays that we think is a win, it is the most horrible, one of the most horrible forms of self-sabotage. And it's unbelievable because you're riding so high on your ego at the moment. You cannot see it. She cannot see what she's doing. Right. Miss Clark, you got it. He was humble before the court as a sign of respect. Yeah. She did, Danny. She did. Okay. Yes, her voice is shaky and unsure. Look, let me tell you something. She's talking all big and bad. Well, he's a gentleman. Me, not so much. Well, honey, you need to fix your voice. You need to get the calibration of your voice together if you a badass, like you say. Because right now you don't sound like it. Right. She sounds combative. You got it, Danny. Yes. Me too. Me too. Don't. Right. It was uncomfortable. I couldn't believe it. Lena. Okay. So she said, I had choice words about you and your lies. And Mr. Wade is a Southern gentleman, but me not so much. Ooh, yes, you go, girl. All right, let's keep going.
Was, did you have a conversation with
I didn't
him?
have a substantive conversation.
You did not.
I read this motion, skimmed it more so, and I've probably said some choice things to him about.
She's not answering yes or no. She says, did you have a substantive conversation? She's adding all this extraneous information to tell her repeatedly, I've said some choice things to him about your lies. Why do you have to keep saying that?
some of the lies that were told
Okay.
and then printed in the media because, we used to be in a day and time where you had 60 Minutes and people did stories and they verified information, and you had this great reporting. But it seems today that a lawyer writes a lie and then it's printed for all of the world to see.
Well, I just want to make sure that you answer the question I asked, though. So my question.
See that? Other girl's like, okay, that's fine. Can you answer my question? Do you see the difference?
Was
Overruled, Mr. Abadi.
I told you what happened. I read the motion. I am sure I told him what my opinion of it is.
Okay.
And past that, we had no substantive conversation.
You did not. Okay.
Is there something you didn't understand?
No, I just wanted to make sure that
Okay.
you did not have a meeting with him in the conference room to discuss the
All
motion.
right, next question,
No.
Ms. Merchant.
So in the conference room of my office within this week, you produced some financial document. That financial document was given to me, something, and I'm not even sure who's given it to him by me or Mr. Abadi gave it to me. And I think he showed me a document in our conference room. But as far as a substantive conversation,
You got it, Lena.
I don't believe I've had any conversation with him that is substantive related to this.
Okay.
I have had conversations with him since you filed the motion, but they wouldn't be substantive to this. He sent me very nice sermons that have been done. And so we've had conversations about, did you listen to that sermon? You know, things of that nature. And I would say they were in relationship to this because I think he did it to be kind.
Okay.
Look at her face. Look at what she's doing with her mouth, her face. Right? Being rude. The rudeness it was just blowing my mind. It's not over, ladies. Is there something you didn't understand? Well, no, I didn't understand because you didn't answer the question directly. You gave me all this extraneous information. And I'm trying to get to a yes or no about whether you had a substantive conversation or not. That's all I need. And that's what the girl said. That's all I need. And then she's going to talk about sermons. Now she wants to talk about sermons. Now, I don't think she was concerned about sermons when she was banging him and his wife was at home. See, that's the funny thing about folk love that now you want to run to the church. Now you want to talk about a sermon and the Lord. Okay, well, where was the Lord when you was... I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Let me clean up. Let me just... When you was getting folded, as the young folks say. All right, let's keep going, y'all.
Let's start back in 2019.
Yeah.
So you and Mr. Wade met in October 2019 at a conference?
That is correct. And I think in one of your motions, you tried to implicate I slept with him at that conference, which I find to be extremely offensive. I stayed at that conference. Mr. Wade was my teacher. I did not meet him when he taught the class. I was standing outside talking to Lisa Reeves, who is a judge. Me and her were just having a conversation.
Okay, we don't need all that. And why you shouldn't be? Why are you offended? You were banging a married guy. Like where are the boundaries? She should have let her team do her job. She should have been watching this. She in Atlanta, all the fabulous restaurants. She should have been at the Capitol Grill in Buckhead watching this bad boy and enjoying the lobster mac and cheese and a glass of Prosecco and living her life. Aaliyah, I think she might be. She went to Howard. I know she did go to Howard. She might be. That's we can look that up. Yeah, she just can't get to the point in her responses, which is indicative of somebody who's kind of being duplicitous in their responses, who's not really telling the truth. Okay.
Wade walks up and they hug each other. They have some brief conversation. She introduces us.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. We kind of thought that when you asked the question, you didn't answer the question, not speech, so I object to the speech.
I agree.
I said I object to the speech, Your Honor. I can't take this shit. This bitch. Oh, I used to work with an attorney like that. He was a bastard. I loved it. He was a real pain in the ass, but he was a great attorney. And he would do that all the Your Honor, I can't. No. Get to the point. That's right, Danny. Look at her face. She's like, I'm gonna say my speech. Where's my tea? mm. Mm.
Able to explain my answers.
I believe she's able to explain her answers.
And
That's Ms. Merchant. That's okay. I can handle it. Ms. Willis, I'll ask you just listen to the answer, or excuse me, the question, and keep the answers confined to the question as best you can. I think you'll have more than enough ample opportunity on when the state is able.
So he's like, okay, you're gonna get your chance to say all your extra when your team presents, right? He's not being. He's a really nice judge, right? And he's telling her, look, just keep your answers confined to, the yes or no, make them brief so we can, keep the flow of the trial, I mean of the hearing going. Then he's asking. It's getting on your nerves too. Jenny, you would have had the gavel like order in the court. Get off the stand. You playing games, girl. Oh, combos with L. She just tried to tell someone who did this the same exact thing to her supervisor because she was passed up for promotion. She somehow of the belief that her hard work and attitude will get her promoted. A lot of women are like that. And a lot of times it's the attitude that keeps you from getting promoted because you got a bad attitude. So it doesn't matter how hard you work and even how smart you are. Because the word is that Fani's very smart. I'm not really seeing a lot of evidence of that in this situation here, but I mean, people have said she's smart. I don't know. But does it matter? No, because if she's taken off of her square this drastically and not presenting as smart right now, does it matter? If you can't be smart when it counts, does it matter if you're smart? She don't have a lot of emotional intelligence, that's for damn sure. All right, so let's let the judge say what he's going to say.
The question as best you can. I think you'll have more than enough ample opportunity on when the state is
Well,
able
it's
to ask
highly
follow-ups.
offensive when someone lies on you, and it's highly offensive when they try to implicate that you slept with somebody the first day you met with them, and I take exception to it.
All right. Well, Ms. Willis, she'll have the opportunity to explain all of that when it's the state's turn.
Now you're going to argue with the judge. Now he being nice to you. She pointing the finger. Oh, Lena, the bra is wrong. Yes, Kat, he was married. He was married. So don't say I take exception. If you was letting him, you was giving up the goodies. So don't act like it's beyond, comprehension of your character, that you would not do something on the first night because you did it with a married guy. He is being very nice, Danny. He's a really he's a gentleman. All right, just keep going. This girl's a mess.
To ask more open-ended questions.
Yeah.
Ms. Merchant.
Thank you, Judge. So again, my question was.
I gotta say something else. Hold on. The other reason this is so crazy. Oh, look at her face. The other reason this is so crazy is because there's no jury in this situation. In this hearing right here, there's no jury. The only decision maker here is the judge. Okay? So you definitely want to stay on his good side. He is the only one that's going to make the decision. She does not have the wisdom to not piss off the decision maker here. Let's watch this next part.
Was you all met at that conference, though, right?
We did the meeting.
Okay.
He, as I stated, he taught the class. I did not actually meet him when he taught the class. I walked out of the class, and I'm not sure if it was that exact class or we had went to lunch, but we were standing in the vestibule, like outside of the class.
Ugh.
Me and Judge Reeves were having a conversation. She had worked at a law firm I worked at back in
Oh, come on.
1996.
We're getting way afar. I mean, I don't mind her explaining her answers, but I literally just asked if they met at that conference.
She's explaining how she met Mr. Wade, which was exactly the question asked by Ms. Merchant.
It was
These answers are more than appropriate.
Ms. Merchant, if you want more concise answers, perhaps you could lead the witness.
I will. Thank you, Judge. Isn't it true that you met Mr. Wade October 2019 at the judges
We
conference?
haven't gotten to the point where Ms. Willis should be treated hostile witness.
I think we
And
have.
I'm very much want to be here, so I'm not a hostile witness. I very much want to be
Not
here.
so much that you're hostile, Miss Willis, it'd be an adverse witness. Your interests are opposed to Miss Merchant's.
So she's a DA, but she does not understand the legal definition of hostile witness in this situation. And on top of that, her team is trying to protect her again, and she's running her mouth again. Talking back to the judge, I'm not hostile. I want to be here. Well, ma'am, that's not what we're saying. In this context, that's not what that means. You went to Howard and Emory Law School, and you don't know what that means right now. Are you that shook, or did you never understand that? Because we got a serious problem. We got a serious problem if that's the case. I mean, talking back to the judge, saying slick shit, making these faces. Is this helpful? I mean, do you want to win or not?
Thank you.
Merchant's interests are contrary to democracy, Your Honor, not to mine.
All right, let's
Judge,
proceed.
Oh, hold on. Y'all heard what she's... I'm going to let y'all listen again. Look at these faces she's making. See, now the culture's like, yes, look at that face. She's telling them. You know, I have certain cousins that's just eating this up. Now their life is a mess, but this is, yeah. All right, so let's watch again. I want you to, the next 60 seconds, watch her face, listen to the exchange.
Thank you, Judge. So again, my question was, you all met at that conference though, right?
We did the
Okay.
meeting. As I stated, he taught the class. I did not actually meet him when he taught the class. I walked out of the class, and I'm not sure if it was that exact class or we had went to lunch, but we were standing in the vestibule, like outside of the class. Me and Judge Reeves were having a conversation. She had worked at a law firm I worked at back in 1996.
We're getting way afar. I mean, I don't mind her explaining her answers, but I literally just asked if they met at that
She's
conference.
explaining how she met Mr. Wade, which was exactly the question asked by Ms. Merchant.
It was
These answers are more than appropriate.
Ms. Merchant, if you want more concise answers, perhaps you could lead the witness.
I will. Thank you, Judge. Isn't it true that you met Mr. Wade October 2019 at the judges
We
conference?
haven't gotten to the point where Ms. Willis should be treated hostile in this situation.
I think we
And
have.
I'm very much want to be here, so I'm not a hostile witness. I very much want to be
Not
here.
so much that you're hostile, Miss Willis, it'd be an adverse witness. Your interests are opposed to Miss Merchant's.
Thank you.
Merchant's interests are contrary to democracy, Your Honor, not to mine.
Oh, she told y'all. He's stating as a matter of fact, your interests are opposed. That's all it means in this situation when he says hostile. Or her interest is contrary to democracy. And you could tell she had that little line in her pocket. She was waiting to pull it out. And it's like, why? And the faces are, she really thinks she did something with that. Contrary to democracy, Your Honor, not mine. And what do he say? All right, ma'am, let's just go. Hold on, it is 138. Hold on.
Miss Merchant's.
Thank you.
Merchant's interests are contrary to democracy, Your Honor, not to mine.
All right, let's
Judge,
proceed.
I would just ask that
We can keep things moving. Miss Merchant,
Thank you.
next question,
Thank
please.
Okay, so we've confirmed when you met. After that, isn't it true?
No, I need to explain this, and I think I get to explain my answers.
Oh,
When I met him, Judge Reeves introduced us.
Whew.
He handed me his business card. I'm unsure if I handed him my business card, but we exchanged information. He said, if you ever need
He
any
is.
help,
He's
give
married.
me a call. And he walked to the parking lot.
So after that, you started dating shortly thereafter, correct?
That's a lie. That's one of your lies.
Do you know Robin Yurdy?
I know her as Robin Bryant. I knew her.
Okay, so one of her friends somebody she used to be friends with, her and the girl fell out, and that her name is Robin, and Robin testified that she did see the two of them together romantically before she hired him to go against Trump. So we can skip that. Y'all can watch that if you want. So she ended up staying at this lady's house because I don't know, she lost her house. Oh no, I think once once she started going after the former president, like she was getting threats and stuff, and she wanted to stay somewhere different. She needed a different place to stay, and Robin let her stay at her place because she was about to get married. And now she's talking about how she gave her money, and how she gave her cash. And I'm gonna just let it play for like 30 seconds, and I'm gonna skip ahead because it's gonna make sense in a minute.
She might be like, I need $70, I need $100, whatever it was. And we never had a problem with money. Whatever she told me it was, I never asked to see a bill. I never questioned her. I just gave it to her.
What percentage would you say you paid cash versus Cash App?
Oh, the vast majority was Cash App. I don't know what percentage. I'm not gonna guess that. But the vast majority was Cash App. But there would be times she would say, this bill came in at $70. Here goes $70.
Did you have a monthly rent amount that you paid her?
I can't remember. It was $1,400, $1,500. I can't remember what it was. And it would vary, which I don't understand to this day. But like I said, I never questioned her.
When did you move out?
She said it was, that's what I paid.
When did you move out?
I abruptly moved out in February, either late January or early February of 22.
Of 22.
Yes,
February 2022, is that what you said?
January, February of 22. I believe it is January, but I paid her half the rent.
Okay.
February of 22 is what I remember. And because I was offering to pay the whole rent, even though
Okay, Lord have mercy, this woman.
And she
too with Mr. Wade.
Yes, and his mom.
And his mother. That's what I was asking.
Yes.
Okay, so now she's talking about all the cruises and all the stuff that they went on together.
If the necessity was as we got on the ship or we got off the ship. But I do remember there was.
So they're trying to determine if when she hired him for this case and paid him $650,000, which exceeded 24 hours a day of billable hours, might I add. And he's only done like, I think personal injury or like small criminal court cases. And this is a RICO case which he has no experience. So she hired this man who she started sleeping with, who has no experience with RICO cases, and then gave him an exorbitant fee of $650,000, and then start going on international trips with him while she was banging him. All right, so this is why this is a thing. So now they want to know like the details. Like, okay, so you paid him all this money. Did he return the favor, which is unethical and will be disqualifying to you as an officer of the court by taking you on all these trips? And she is insisting that she paid her half, that she would always give him cash for her half. So this is what we're about to listen to now. And it's going to get very interesting, ladies. Yeah. Yeah, she is, Gemma. Yeah. Yes. People in job interviews who don't answer the question, but just keep talking and talking and talking. And you're just like, you ain't getting this job. Yo ass, you are not going to be in here with me on these projects because I will lose my mind. All right, let's watch.
It was a night spent in Miami because either whatever. I don't remember. But I think that there was a night spent in Miami.
That cruise is the one that you took in October, right?
Ma'am, if you have something to refresh my recollection, I'm intentionally trying to not be difficult with you, but I don't want to make up something.
Right.
So she get nice when she talking about all these trips, right? You see, oh, ma'am, I'm not trying to be, yeah. Oh, okay. Y'all peep that, right? Okay.
So that on one of those two trips, we stayed in Miami. I am not sure right now. You're asking me about.
Oh, I'm sorry, you misunderstood. I was not asking you which night you stayed in Miami. I'm asking if you took a cruise in October 2022 with Mr. Wade.
Yes, and his mom.
And his mother. That's what I was asking.
Yes.
Is that the first time you met his mother?
Yes.
It was on that cruise. And that was Royal Caribbean, I believe?
I honestly don't remember what ship. I know we've taken 2 cruises. I don't know what the ships were.
But he paid for the flight and the cruise on Royal Caribbean that time.
So yes, he paid. He is the original one that does it. He has something called Mr. Wade is a world traveler. I'm not as versed as him. He's been to 6 of the 7 continents. And so he has.
You see, she low key like bragging on who she was messing with. He's a world traveler, okay? Lord, she could have paid him $300K, but $650 for the D. Yeah, that's what for. Aaliyah. It is too much. Y'all, it's not even over. It's not even halfway over. Danny said guilty. Danny, you gotta listen to the evidence now. You gotta listen to the testimony now. You can't just be saying this woman guilty. Hold on now. Y'all got to give this woman a chance. Hold on.
Both a personal travel agent and he also has a cruise travel agent. I don't know anything about either of those kind of travel agents. So he is the one that would book the travel, but we need to be clear when we're talking about just because he booked it doesn't mean, like, I don't consider him having taken me any place. Let me just be honest. The only one that's ever taken somebody someplace is for his 50th birthday. I consider that I took him to Belize. And I took him to Belize because, I don't want to discuss his personal business, but I'm happy Mr. Wade is still here with us. And I did 50 big, very big.
So
she flexing now. Oh, ain't nobody ever took me nowhere, right? But I did 50 big for him. First of all, I would not be bragging about spending no money on no man. Y'all, I apologize. I'm not her. I would be, I would, for that reason alone, I wouldn't get on the stand. For that reason alone, I'd be like, nah, I don't want to say nothing, y'all. Y'all got it. Yes, I know. Why is she talking like that? Because she's in Atlanta and she thinks that's acceptable. She thinks that's acceptable comportment for the stands. Because if you are in a bubble and there's nobody around you that can check you, that can kind of make you step back and go, oh, I need to get it together. If there's nobody in your orbit who can reflect back to you how out of order you are, this is what happens. This is what happens. This is who we become.
Still on that October Royal Caribbean cruise, even though he had a travel agent. I'm sorry.
If you do me a favor, I don't know what cruise ship, what time. So if you'll help me and say October cruise with Mama or the New Year's Eve trip with his sisters, I'll be able to, we can communicate. I just don't know what ship.
October cruise with Mama. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He
Lord
paid for the cruise and the flights for that trip.
So he called his cruise agent and he booked that through them because he has a cruise agent. He also has a regular
yes,
agent.
we
I don't know
know
the cruise agent's name.
So I wasn't asking about his travel agent. I was just asking
but
if
I'm
he
trying
paid
to,
for those.
He did not though.
Okay.
Because the reason I consider that he did not is I gave him his money back.
I was about to ask that, but initially he paid for that.
Yeah, he called his cruise agent. Like, I think they have his card on record. They do whatever.
Okay. So initially he paid for the cruise and the flight to Miami and the Royal Caribbean cruise.
And my understanding of that October cruise is like it was a package the lady did for him.
So, and I'll get to the reimbursements and all that. I'm just trying to confirm he paid for the flight and the cruise in October.
And I think that when you say things that way, I want this record to be
Initially.
abundantly clear that he calls his travel agent, he calls his cruise agent. They do whatever he tells them. He's like on a first name basis with these people. They do it. And then he tells me how much it is and I give him the money back. I don't, just like you're asking me about the money with Robin, I don't do my friends like that. So if you tell me it's a G, then you're going to get $1,000. Whatever it is, I didn't ever make him.
the DA of Fulton County just said on the stand, if you tell me it's a G, then you're going to get $1,000. Cat. Yes, honey. I don't do my friends like that. If you tell me it's a G, you're going to get $1,000, baby. Because I'm a real one. Know what I'm saying? That's the DA. That is the woman who is still trying to go up against the former president of the United States. Do you think that is a good idea? Whether you like him or not, don't have nothing to do with it. Do you see? Do you see the wild? No, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Produce receipts to me. Whatever he told me it was, I gave him his money back.
Isn't it true that he paid for the cruise and the flight on his credit card? I'm not asking about reimbursement or after. He used his credit card to buy the cruise and buy the flight, correct?
I have no idea how he paid for it,
Okay.
if it's a credit card, if it's a debit card, but certainly he called his cruise agent. You know, like how many people have a cruise agent? He calls his cruise agent, tells them where they want.
How many people got a cruise agent? The man I'm messing with? Yeah, girl. Because that's what she's saying. That is what she's saying. How many people got a cruise agent? Boy, you something else. She was all types of glamored.
Want to go, they tell him what's booked. You have to remember, he paid for his mother.
And then after that cruise, you all flew to Aruba and spent a couple days in a hotel there, correct?
Right. And his mother was not happy.
He
that we left her
initially paid
behind.
for that.
Y'all heard that? Right. And his mother was not happy and we left her behind. You use a piece of work. It does. It does, Gemma. It does sound like Real Housewives. Right. Yeah. 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 No, she could have just not taken the damn stand. That's what she could have done, Danielle. Yes. Yes. But ma'am, he's a married man. Do y'all know that this would not have come out if he had not? Yeah, she brought the mama up, child. He filed for divorce once he got that 650, that 650,000. And I could be wrong, but it looks like she got once he got that $650,000, he filed for divorce. And the wife was like, "The hell you?" So the wife is the one that let the cat out the bag. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, baby. All right.
He initially paid for that.
For Aruba, yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about both of those. I know he initially paid for it. Did you pay him back?
For the cruise and for Aruba, yeah, I gave him his money before we ever went on that trip.
You gave him cash before you ever went on the trip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when you got cash to pay him back on these trips, would you go to the ATM?
No, lady.
You would not go to the ATM.
No, lady. No, lady. She said no, lady. She said, "Would you go to the ATM to get that cash?" No, lady. That's your response on the stand to another attorney? Oh, okay. Look at her face. The ATM? The fuck?
No.
Okay. So Fulton County pays you direct deposit, I assume?
Yes, Fulton
Okay.
County and the state of Georgia both pay me direct deposits.
Okay. So the cash that you would pay him, you wouldn't get it out of the bank.
I have money in my house.
You have money in your house. So it was just money that was there.
When you meet my father, he's going to tell you as a woman, you should always have, which I don't have, so let's don't tell him that. You should have at least 6 months in cash at your house at all times.
Why would you say something like that as a woman? She's bragging. She's bragging right now, y'all. She's bragging. Think about the things that she's bragging and flexing.
Now, I don't know why this old black man feels like that, but he does. When we were
I don't know why this old black man feel like that, but he does. Are we at Spawn Divots eating crab and drinking liquor? What kind of conversation is this? Y'all's reactions is cracking me up. I couldn't believe it either, Elle. It's real, Cat. It's real, baby. All right, let's keep going. That ain't the y'all not ready. I'm so excited for those of y'all who have not watched this yet because I got something for y'all about 3 more minutes. So I cannot wait.
But growing up, my daddy had 3 safes in the house. So my father's bought me a lockbox, and I always keep cash in the house. Now, I don't do it to the degree that my father would do it, so he would probably be ashamed with me, but I always have cash at the house. That has been, I don't know, all my life. If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house, and
you better have $200 in your pocket so you can go where you want to go. Let's keep listening to the cash speech now, because this ain't all.
I don't keep cash as good in my purse like I used to. I don't go on many dates, but when you go on a date, you should have cash in your pocket.
So my question was, where did that cash originally come from? If it didn't come out of the bank,
it is.
Cash is fungible. We've had cash for years in my house. So for me to tell you the source of when it comes from, when you go to Publix and you buy something, you get $50, you throw it in there. It's been my whole life. When I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that. Like,
did you hear what she just said? Did you hear what she just said? Do you know that you're not supposed to take money? You're not supposed to take funds from your campaign? It is illegal. This woman just said she pulled money from her campaign, funds from her campaign. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's saying all types of crazy stuff. So she's just talking. She's just talking. Oh, yeah, because my daddy said, you got to keep 200 on you just because, because you don't never know when a man going to act up. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you, when I go to Publix, I get $50. And, when I pulled the money from my campaign, I kept some of that cash too. Baby, you might be going to jail. I don't know. But this is why when you have a team to protect you, let your team do the work. This is called, winning the battle or thinking that you win in the battle and losing the war. I have no idea what's going to happen to this woman after this, but I don't think it's going to be good.
To tell you, I just have cash in my house. I don't have as much today as I would normally have, but I'm building back up now. So you just put money in. It's a very good practice. I would advise it to all women.
So you can't identify.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't advise that to all women, ladies. And then, now they gonna be thinking black women just walking around with a bunch of money in their house. Come on, now be quiet. No, Gimma, they did not prep her because, so I think you came in late. So if you go back and watch the beginning, honey, because you're going to see what happened. They were arguing to keep her from having to go on the stand. They filed a motion to quash because the other team filed a motion to compel her to come to the stand. They filed a motion to quash that so she didn't have to come to the stand. So they're going back and forth. The judge is listening. I think the judge might have probably sided with her legal team, but she comes and you'll see it. You see the cameraman pan over to the other side of the courtroom because she's walking in, marching in, like, I'm ready. I got something to say. I'm ready to go. And you're going to watch her attorneys' faces because they're shocked. All right, let's keep going. I'm gonna let y'all go soon, I promise.
By when you came into this cash or where the cash came from.
I didn't say I couldn't identify it. No, nobody gives me anything. I am sure that the source of the money is always the work, sweat, and tears of me. What you asked me for is, when did the money go in there? What I am trying to tell you is, so I got divorced in 2005 from my husband. And no, it's important. You said, where did the money come from?
Where did the money come from? My work, sweat, and tears. Okay, well, first of all, it's blood, sweat, and tears. I don't know why you're saying it like that. But also, you are supposed to be able to identify the source of your cash when you are a public officer like that. You have a different set of rules to abide by. You can't just say, "Oh, it's my blood, my work, sweat, and tears." That's not Cat said, "No. Cat, don't leave me. Cat, give me 2 more minutes. I got something good for you. Don't leave. Don't leave. Give me 2 more minutes, Cat. I got something real good for you."
And I need to tell you where the money came from.
She's
And so
answering your
for
questions.
many, many years, I have kept money in my house. That money in my worst days has probably only been $500 or $1,000. At my best days, I probably had $15,000 in my house at Kate.
My God.
At all times, there's going to be cash in my house or wherever I'm laying my head.
The money
Why would y'all? The lack of self-awareness is astonishing to me. You Yes. Ooh, you brought it back. Yes. Witness me, like KSC used to say. Come on. Yeah. Yes, girl. Oh, okay. Let's keep going.
that you paid Mr. Wade, the cash, in October of 2022, you do not know where that money came from.
I do know where it came from. It came from my sweat and tears.
You know which job it came from. Did it come from Fulton County or did it come from a private job?
It came from, what are you talking about? So it could
Oh.
have come from a private job because before I was DA, I was in private practice. So I earned money during that time period. That's probably in there.
You don't
It
know
could
where it
have, what do you mean I don't know where it came from? I
I
absolutely do.
understand the situation. We can move on.
Okay, thanks. Same with Aruba. You don't know where that cash came from either, right?
Ma'am, you are mischaracterizing my testimony greatly. I'm not going to allow you to mischaracterize my testimony.
Oh my God.
I know that I keep money in my house. The amounts of money I gave Mr. Wade, it was never that serious. I don't think I've ever handed him more than $2,500 in a reimbursement. So
It was never that serious. I never gave him more than 2,500 in a reimbursement at a time. That's not total. That's just okay. Let's keep going. Hold on, y'all. I got something for you. Y'all just listen.
So we're not talking about $20,000 in cash. I don't have $20,000 in cash right now. The most I ever gave him, I know I gave him $2,500 when we went to Belize because we went to one hotel and then we went to a second hotel. That $2,500 I actually gave him while we were still in Belize. I know that the Aruba trip, the one that you described with his mom, I think I gave him about $2,000 for that trip for like total.
His mom went to Aruba with you?
The Aruba trip. So I consider that to be one trip. So we got off of a cruise ship and then we went to Aruba, which is why I cannot remember is that the time that we had to stay in Miami to wait for the flight for Aruba. So I can
You hear the attorney like breathing into the microphone, like, geez, okay.
consider that one trip that we didn't like come back to Atlanta and leave. We flew down to Miami. We got on a cruise ship. We spent a couple of days with his mama. We came back to Miami. When we came back to Miami, either that day or the next day, we flew to Aruba. We spent a few days in Aruba and we came back. That was really one trip. Even though we went 2 places, it was one trip.
So let's talk about the California trip.
Now,
Is that when you were moving your daughter out to California? When you all went, or did you have 2 trips to California?
my daughter doesn't live in California.
Did she ever live in California?
I'm not discussing to you the location of my child.
So
Okay, I'm not gonna tell you what my child is, but I will tell you got about 15 bands on me. Yes, Miss B witness me because I'm paid, and the dude I'm messing with is paid, and he got a travel agent and a cruise agent. Who got that? Yes, ma'am. All right. All right.
how many times did you go with Mr. Wade to California?
Once.
And you all stayed in Napa Valley and he paid for the plane tickets and the hotel?
He paid for the plane tickets and the hotel.
And what did you pay for on that trip?
I gave him much less cash that time, probably $400 or $500, and then I paid for a bunch of stuff. I think we did 2 different wine tours that you do, which are pretty expensive. think I bought him. He likes wine. I don't really like wine, to be honest with you. I like Grey Goose. I bought him a bottle of wine.
Did y'all hear that? He likes wine. I don't really like wine. I like Grey Goose. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Hey, Dr. Frantonia. Yes. Well, she all right. She got 15 bands and Grey Goose in the house. She gonna be all right. Yep. Where is it? It's there. There is none. There is none. She started off in the beginning. When you go back and watch this from the beginning, when she first walks into the courtroom, she does start off with the attempt to present that way, but it does not last long. So she said that she liked Grey Goose. She didn't have to get on the stand at all. She could have let her team do their job. She could let the team members do their job. She didn't let them do their job, and she interrupted them while they were trying to protect her. Then when she had an opportunity, she did not give her team an opportunity to prep her. Dr. Frantoni, you ain't right. Then she argued with the judge. Then she made speeches. Then when her team tried to protect her again while she's on the stand, she still overrode her team's objections to protect her. Then argued with the judge when he tried to help her team protect. Yes, she did. She just had to put her cape on. Okay. So I'm gonna stop it right here for now because we're an hour and 20 in. And I want us to look at this because I think this is an extreme example. I had the same question. You know what, Miss V? I had the same question. Is there some type of substance or something going on here that would make her be agitated, that would make her wear her dress backwards? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But it don't look good. It doesn't look good. And it looks like something else is going on, you know? But all that to say, the reason that I thought this was so interesting is because I think that in another lifetime, I could have been a woman like this. And I'm going to tell you why. And I was in my 20s, but I was, living between DC, Atlanta. Like I was, traveling consultant in some cities, management consultant. And, it took me some time to become humble because once you get like a big job, especially if you're young, I think that there's a tendency to kind of believe your own hype or kind of just be a little bit too proud of yourself. And I don't know if I would ever have been this bad, but I think that definitely in my like mid 20s when I first got my like nice job, I think that I probably could have fallen into the haughtiness trap. And Yes, she is. Now she is absolutely old enough to, that's a great point because she's 53, I want to say. Fanny's 53 years old. I was done with that. I was done with being this level of foolishness when I was like 26. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm silly. I can't do this. I need to check myself." But if nothing else, it's a great self-check to see, hey, do I have blind spots where I don't see myself? What happens when we don't see ourselves? That's why I titled it this, because she does not see herself, y'all. She does not see herself. She does not think she is wrong. Oh yes. Yeah, I can, Aaliyah, I can understand that. I think especially like if you are, you know, very gifted um um academically, it's so easy to fall into this trap because you really do fall into you become enamored with how intelligent you are, and you cultivate, you have a lopsided cultivation, which kind of metastasizes, I would say, as you get older. People will excuse you if you're like a really smart young woman and you got a little bit of an attitude because they'll be like, you got an attitude. Um, y- but as time goes on, if it's never checked and you never allow yourself to be checked, what happens is you just get worse and worse over time, especially in today's world where you can easily fall into any echo chamber or bubble that you would like. You know what? This is something else I have heard. This is not her first big case with improprieties on her part where what's this? This vegetable was involved. That's the question. How does this position her for the future? Because right now I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, she's standing in her power. She's not taking any crap." Like they are doing the rah rah, you go girl. What does Fani Willis look like in 3 years, in 5 years? What does her future look like when she's supposed to be moving into her master advisor crone era? Do you think she's going to have one of those? I don't. And so if we are not careful and we don't look into the future, I ain't saying we're gonna be as bad as Fonny saying all this crazy stuff on the stand, but we could be seduced by our own talents in a way that we don't cultivate ourselves appropriately in the ways that we need to, which is what I think happened to this woman. And she went off the rails, and now she on the stand with a dress on backwards, talking about she don't drink wine, she like great. Oh, mm, mm. Anyway, um, if y'all if you're part of my Substack, I'm gonna do a part two. I'm gonna do part two of this testimony behind closed doors. It's gonna be a little bit spicier. um, right. Yeah, ma, who is protecting her? She don't have enough protection to be doing what she's doing. She don't have enough protection to be going up against the person that she was going up against initially. Why did she do this? You know why? Because people in that camp, in that political camp, are using her. She has been set up for the fall. They leveraged her ego and told her, "You gonna get him, sis. Yes, black woman, you gonna get him." And she was seduced by that. And they got her. They got her. She has been set up. I honestly believe that Fani Willis has been set up by her party. I do. And I don't think there's anything that she can do about it at this point because she don't went up here and acted a fool. She done acted a fool, y'all. Oh, so we're gonna see. But I don't think that the future looks bright for Miss Fani. But we are gonna do part 2. Um, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be another evening session. Um, if you are a part of my Substack upgraded members, um, come on through. We're gonna have a good old time. We will be discussing the rest. You can go to nikkicro.substack.com and join upgraded. But if you are not on there yet, just try to sign up by tomorrow night, so you can get the sign in. And we're gonna keep going because there's another hour of this. And it gets even more. This is not the end, y'all. I mean, you can go look for yourself. I would, if you got some time, go watch it for yourself. But I'm gonna do a further analysis. Yes, she dragged her daddy into so I'm gonna be bringing up some of those receipts behind the upgraded Substack membership because she has pulled in some other people who she thinks is gonna do the job. They're not gonna be able to help her. She got used, y'all. She got played. And how many of us have been in danger or have had that happen to us or are in danger of having that happen to us? What do we need to look out for so this does not happen to us? How can we make sure that we're not seduced by the things that are genuinely good about us, that we're not seduced and those things are leveraged against us? Right? So that's what we're going to go into in the Substack. But yes, I got another hour of notes. Probably another hour and a half of notes. But I wanted to just, for those of y'all who, don't do the upgraded thing, no problem. Take some notes on this. Go back and watch again and take some notes on this and think about, wow, what does this mean? How many women have I seen get set up? I think we are seeing quite a few women on the world stage be set up this same way. And they all got a couple of things in common, don't they? Think about what that is, right? So, and think about, what do they get in the end? Not what they're getting right now when they're getting hyped up and they're getting trinkets right now and they're getting a little bit of cash and they get to trick off on their friends and trick off on their, boy toys and all that other stuff. What happens after all the contracts are over, they've been closed out and all the money is spent and you have burned untold bridges, right? What happens then? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And this, y'all, that's right, Mrs. American Pie. I did advise women to lean into practical skills and leave DEI alone because let me tell you something. They are building a case against that whole thing and that's about to be gone. That's about to be gone. They're going to point to her. They're going to point to Claudine Gay. They're going to point to all these sisters that they hyped up and had out here being the bulldog. They're going to point to them and go, see that? You see that? Now, they done got what they wanted out of them. And where are these women going to be? And how can we make sure that that does not happen to us? We're going to talk about it some more. But anyway, oh, Lord, it's an hour and a half, y'all. Let me act right like I ain't got to do a bunch of homeschool lessons in the morning. Y'all have a fabulous night. I would love to have your comments if you're listening to the replay. I'd like to have your feedback. y'all let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any revelations or anything. I would like to hear from you. You're welcome, Kat. Oh, Danny, we got to catch up. We got some sessions. So yeah, let's talk about that too. Don't worry. We're going to get it together. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. You're welcome, Danielle. Y'all have a great night. Bye.